Grace, what's wrong? What are you doing? Why hasn't your class finished for recess? Tell your teacher it's time to go on recess. Yeah, I know it's recess. Our whole class knows class is over. What did you come here for anyway? Oh, okay. But why isn't anyone leaving? I thought we were supposed to be going to the convenience store together. What do you mean, why? No, I mean, why aren't you leaving? Don't you want to go buy some snacks? Do I look like the kind of person that needs snacks? School's only just started 1 hour ago. Plus, I'm not even hungry. Well, I don't know. Before today, you've always complained that you're hungry. What's gone into you today? You're being weird. Yeah, well, I'm trying not to do that anymore. I'm trying to change my lifestyle. I need to stop eating snacks so early in the day. It's a bad habit. Why? Oh, come on, Anna. Don't be a spoil sport. It's the only thing I look forward to every morning. I've decided I want to eat food at lunchtime only. Oh, and also, I want to control the speed I eat stuff at. I know I eat way too fast. So other than drinks, I'm not going to be eating any other times. So don't ask me to go buy snacks again because I won't be going. But what's changed your mind so suddenly? You always have loved to eat. What's happened? Don't tell me people have been calling you names again. No, it's not that. It's just I don't think I've been eating very healthy. My eating habits aren't great and I've really noticed it. What do you want to change about it? I don't know. I just realized I need to chill out with the food, especially as going to eat snacks so early on every day. I don't know whether it's because I've grown up in an all-boys household with brothers that eat a lot of food, so it's almost become a habit for me to eat more food than I need to. Not only that, I realized how fast I was eating compared to other girls. I guess, yeah, you do eat pretty fast. I noticed when I ate at yours. You and your family all eat slowly and enjoy the meal. That's because my family all have bad digestive problems, so we purposely eat extra slow. Not only that, though, you all eat really quietly. Especially your mom. She doesn't make a sound. What do you mean? I don't really notice. Maybe because I'm used to it, I guess. She always finishes what's in her mouth before she speaks at the table. I also notice that she'll put her fork down when she's talking, and then pick it back up again when she's done talking. Those are the kinds of manners I want to have. It was just so different in my household and how we behave at the table. I couldn't believe it. Really? I never noticed. It's not that much of a big deal. Even when we eat together in the school cafeteria, you eat so slow. Sometimes it can get pretty annoying. Yeah, I guess I would say I eat very slowly. Anyway, like I was saying, after eating at your house that day, I realized that it's better to be that way, and that I was the strange one for eating so fast. You're not weird, Anna. Everyone has their own ways of doing things. Everyone's different. It just made me think all this time the teachers have been saying things to me about my eating. They were probably right. I also heard your dad became vice principal? Yeah, he did. But no biggie. Congratulations. I'm jealous. No need to be. Thank you, though.
Francine, the food smells amazing. I can guarantee it tastes just as good, too. I've never once been told my food tastes bad. Everyone usually loves it. But I guess it just runs in the family. We've always been talented at cooking. Yes, our family has always had a passion for cooking. Even my mom and dad enjoy it. Yes, Brandon did mention that before. Food isn't completely done yet, so feel free to go rest up in the lounge for the meantime. It won't be too long. Isn't there something I could help with? I feel bad just sitting around in there doing nothing. Of course not! You're the guest tonight and we're hosting. So don't feel bad about not helping. That's not your role today.
But still, I feel bad that you're doing all the work.
Don't be so silly. There's more than enough family here to help me out. Just relax. Amelia, did you take the food off the stove? The one I asked you to plate and put on the table?
Yes, Francine, it's all done.
Right, let's plate up the rest of this and put it all on the table. Right, everybody? Come sit down. Dinner's ready. I can't believe how many of you are here tonight. This is the first time I'm hosting for 15 people. And of course, welcoming a few new people.
Why is everyone just eating off the same plate and putting their forks in it after it is in their mouth? Emily must also think it's gross, because she doesn't seem to be eating either.
Are you finding it hard to eat?
Yeah, just a bit.
Try not to think too much about it. Take your time. I don't like heating food when it's boiling hot. That's why I'm not eating yet.
Yeah, me too.
Jacob, hurry up and try this. It's great! Ugh, Mom, you know I don't like fish. Jacob, I went out of my way to buy this for you, as I thought you would eat expensive fish without the bones. I don't like bones, and I can see bones in the fish. Please. Come on, at least try it. Look, if there are bones, all you need to do is remove them. Like this!
Francine!
Yes, Amelia? What is it?
Jacob isn't 5 anymore. Do you really need to cut his food up for him? I can't believe what I'm seeing. It's hilarious.
Hilarious? What do you mean?
I don't mean it in a bad way. It's just funny to me.
I don't think it's funny in the slightest. It's my fault that I let him get away with being this fussy. Other people's parents force them to eat things. Because I had him so late, I guess I went easy on him, and now I have to pay for it by feeding him this way. I have no choice but to do it, I guess. He's way too fussy.
Her choice of words are a bit harsh. And why are they all yelling while trying to eat dinner? I'll give myself indigestion at this rate trying to keep up with how fast they are eating. Plus, she's mixing the soup with the spoon she just put in her mouth.
Grace? Yes, Francine? Why aren't you eating? Try some of this soup. Or the fish. It's amazing. I thought you'd be eating more, considering how good my cooking is.
I am eating. Don't worry, Francine.
Well, it doesn't look like it. That food has been on your plate the entire time. You're taking nibbles out of it.
I'll try to eat a bit faster then.
Yes, come on, there's plenty to go around. Here, take some of this, too.
The thought of sharing food out of the same pot is sending shivers down my spine. I was avoiding that one in particular. Honey?
Yeah?
Are you tired? You look it.
No, I'm okay. Don't worry about me.
We should have just taken a taxi home. Sorry for letting you drive us home when you're this tired.
It's okay, Grace. Seriously.
What's up with you then? You look exhausted. Are you sure you're not sick?
I'm not sick. I told you I feel fine.
What about your back? Still getting pain from the situation before? Don't you think it's affecting your health? The results from the CT scan said there was a problem.
They said there was a slight problem with the discs by my neck, but other than that, there was no problems. I don't see how it could affect my health. Plus, I feel fine.
Then why do you seem so exhausted and angry? Do you want me to massage your neck a bit while you're driving? Is there anything I can do? Tell me what's bad.
Shouldn't you be asking me the opposite? What's good?
What are you on about? Are you on about the fact I met your family?
Yeah, exactly that.
Honey, didn't we agree and promise that we'd meet each other's families after getting married? So what's not good about it? Of course it's a good thing that I got to meet your mom and spend time with her.
Yeah, but today was a mess.
Why was it a mess?
That you barely ate and didn't want to touch my mom's cooking? What was wrong with it?
Honey, what does it matter how much I ate? Plus, did you see it for yourself? I ate a lot. Not only that, you were sat far away from me. It's not like you were sat next to me and were able to see how much I ate.
Yeah, but you were sat near my mom and it upset her. She put a lot of work and effort into the food and you barely touched it.
But I did eat it!
It's because everyone was eating off the same plate, wasn't it? That's why you didn't want to eat much of the food.
Well, not exactly.
Did you not think I knew you that well?
I ate some of the food. Just because I didn't eat a lot, you're assuming things that aren't true.
Grace, stop it. I know what you were doing and I'm not stupid. Shall I tell you something?
Tell me what?
When you first came out and said to me you wanted to get married, it honestly made me want to distance myself from you a bit.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, but why?
I just always remember that time we were in the hotel together, on our first vacation ever. You did something that really annoyed me and made me feel bad about myself.
Huh? Me? At the hotel?
You were too afraid to touch my boxers because you thought they were dirty. Do you realize how that made me feel? You never once touched them or moved them off the floor. And the one time I asked you if you could fold them up and pass them to me, you held them by the tips of your fingers as if they were something toxic.
You know how I feel about those kinds of things, though. That's just who I am as a person. I've always been the same. Even if it was my siblings' underwear. Anything other than mine, I won't touch.
Do you realize, though, how that made me feel? I felt dirty, even though I was your boyfriend, as if I didn't have good enough hygiene.
Oh, come on. That's only happened one time.
No, that's not the only time something like this has happened.
Oh, okay. What else has happened then?
You won't ever share the same glass or bottle as me either.
Isn't that something everyone does? You shouldn't be sharing your utensils with other people. That's just common health rules.
No, it's not. All my friends and their girlfriends will happily drink out of each other's cups and share utensils.
Yes, honey, but that doesn't mean it's a good habit or thing to do.
Okay, but then how are you okay to kiss me? How are you supposed to even touch me? Would that also be considered as spreading bacteria and being bad health habits? As if I'm some random person and have germs. It makes no sense.
Why are you being so sensitive?
It's a touchy subject for me. Anyway, that's why I debated before we got married about the whole thing. I just tolerated your behavior the whole time. Well, because I liked you that much. And then agreed to marry you. Regardless of the way you made me feel. But then seeing you also do that behavior in my family's house, the first time you're meeting them, brought back to me those feelings. It triggered me a bit seeing you behave like that in front of my mom.
Honey, you've seen how we eat in my household as a family. It's way different to yours. We all have our food separate on our plates and we never mix utensils or cups. That's just how I was raised.
Yes, and I understand that. But I was just upset that my mom put so much effort into the food for you and you barely even touched it. You just kept playing with your food. I saw it myself. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you that it made me feel that way. Just imagine how it made my mom feel.
Thinking about it now, yes, I was a bit rude and should have tried to eat more of the food. But in my defense, there was 14 other people around that table, and I was trying to hold conversations with different people as well as your mom, so I wasn't paying much attention on the food, I must admit. I was eating slowly because of that, and sorry if I ended up not trying some of the food your mom prepared for me. Not only that, I will admit that everyone just sticking their forks into the same plate did gross me out a little bit.
See? I knew it. I told you earlier. Why didn't you just admit it?
Anyway, I promise from next time I'll pay more attention to it and I'll try my best to eat more food, so your mom doesn't feel the same way as she has today. I realize I was in the wrong, and I'm sorry about that.
Thanks for listening to me and saying sorry. But I don't know if changing your behavior next time will fix anything. I think there's just a huge difference in how we were both raised and our relationships with food. We are all just happy to share food in our house. That's how close we are, and it doesn't bother us.
Yeah, I realize that. But it's just something I'm still not comfortable doing. And you didn't pre-warn me about.
Plus, with the way your family is, anyone you met would have been different to your household. I've never met such a prim and proper family before.
I get that. But my family being different isn't a bad thing. And us being raised differently isn't a bad thing either.
Yeah, and I never said it was. Who said that? Because that didn't come from me. I'm just saying you need to be more open to how different people live, especially when you're joining the family and visiting them in their home.
I'll try my best to be more like you next time and try fit in. I've always wanted to experience being able to be comfortable eating how you do. How your family is, though, is very different to how you are as a person. So I was quite surprised. It's just not what I was expecting, you know? Took me back a little.
Okay, and what were you expecting? What are you trying to say? That they aren't up to the standard you expected?
Oh, no, of course not. I didn't mean it in a bad way. I just meant they are different to how you are. Especially your mom, anyway. Honey, are you just gonna ignore me? Come on, let's not fight like this over something so silly.
I don't understand what you're trying to say.
Anyway, shall we move on? Your little brother is pretty adorable, isn't he?
Yeah, because he's the last born, my mom has always babied him a bit too much. He's always the favorite child growing up. Got everything he wanted, as you can probably tell.
I heard that it had only been a week since he got back from his exchange abroad. Out of all your family, he seemed like the one I'd be able to get on with the most. Maybe we should do something one time. The three of us? Invite him over or something for dinner.
Oh, I don't know if we'll ever get him over here, Grace. He's a pretty sociable kid. He's never in the house, always hanging out with his friends. Plus, why would he want to hang out with his lame older brother?
Did your mom say he went to Oxford? Or did I mishear what she said? Because if he did go there, then that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, well, my mom only had him to focus on, so he's pretty much the star child. She wanted the best and only the best for him. But I'm not sure that's how things will turn out.
Jacob, what do you think you're doing? I gave you everything you ever needed for a good start in life. You've gotten married, you got an education, so you can work in IT. You should learn how to do well independently now. Why are you still here begging me to do things for you and for money?
Mom, but who else am I supposed to ask for money from when I need it?
Your brother Brandon would never behave like this. Never! Even if he was starving and was desperate for help, he'd do everything he could to make sure he never turned up here and begged me for money. I'm sick and tired of you being unemployed.
Mom, stop pushing me. You're gonna bruise my shoulder.
I don't even know why I ever had you. Your father set me up, telling me if I didn't give him another son, he'd go find somewhere else to have one. Begged me to have another son, saying it would be good for the family, and all I've gotten is an unemployed liability. Now you know that. Don't you think you should start taking some responsibility? All you've done is sponge off me for the past 8 years.
Mom, please stop yelling. You're going to give me a headache.
Instead of talking about this out here, let's just go home. I know what you're trying to do. You're waiting around here for Grace to come out and feel sorry for you and offer you to come have food, aren't you? Well, that's never gonna happen. When have they ever made food for you? There's food in the house that you can eat, so come on, let's go before you cause more of a scene.
Mom, do you really think I want to eat your cooking?
Oh, Francine. Jacob. Hi. I just got home and dinner's almost ready. Did you want to stay for food?
Oh, Grace. We thought you'd never ask. You've never once invited Jacob to come over for food, even though you know he's struggling. Why's that? Is he that much of a problem? Also, it's like 8 p.m. What do you mean you're only now cooking dinner?
Well, we had no food in the house, so I had to go out and buy some things before I could make anything.
I see. Jacob, come here and sit down. We're here to eat now. I don't want food, Mom. I'm not hungry.
Jacob, Brandon will be home in around 30 minutes' time. So don't worry, you can eat it and leave before he gets here. You've not had dinner yet, so you're bound to be hungry, surely.
I'm not hungry. But if you have any beer or vodka going, then that would be great. My throat's very dry. I could do with some rehydrating. Stop being so ridiculous, Jacob, and eat your food. What are you on about drinking alcohol on an empty stomach? Are you crazy?
Francine, could you tone your voice down a little bit, please? The walls are thin, and we don't want complaints from our neighbors. Also, the kids are in their rooms trying to study.
It's been 8 years since you married into our family. Don't you know what I'm like by now? If you can't get along with how I speak and my tone of voice, then we've got a problem.
Francine, here is a bit different. We have to be quiet since we live in an apartment, and you have to be mindful of other residents.
Well, that's your fault for getting such a bad apartment that has no soundproofing in it. Not mine. Why would people live in an apartment if they didn't expect noise, huh? Not only that, why would you ever choose to move from the 5th floor to the 9th? It will be even worse echo higher up.
Francine, hang on a minute.
What are you doing? Why are you acting friendly and trying to help me out all of a sudden?
Your t-shirt isn't closing properly, so I moved it over for you.
Leave me and how I look alone, and try sort yourself out first. You don't even dress properly yourself, mixing colors and wearing strange outfits. I'll wear what I want, and you wear what you want. Got it?
But your chest is showing a bit too much, don't you think?
Oh, just give it a rest. I'm old and there's nothing to see there. I'm proud of who I am and raised my kids like this. So what if I've got a bit of cleavage showing? Just because I'm old, I can't do it.
Ugh, I wish you'd throw away those clothes. They're awful. She's way too old to be wearing things like that. I just wish you'd finally get rid of them. Why would you go out in public wearing something like that? She'll even see people in the elevator. I don't even want to be seen with her like this.
Jacob, I can see you still haven't come to your senses. Why? What have I done wrong? Your current situation is a problem. Why didn't you choose a safer career path? Why would you want to work in IT? Most people don't even need to have degrees in IT to get a job in it. All they need to do is a pesky coding course and they qualify. So why is it so hard for you to do it? You need to keep up with those other people. But if you haven't got the motivation to, then that's the problem. If you think it's so easy, why don't you try it? If you're that smart, you'll realize. You're really going off the rails, Jacob. I know that. Don't you think I know that? There's no need to remind me. But how many times are you going to keep on asking us for money? How much do you need now? I'm not your private ATM machine that you can use whenever you want. What do you mean, private ATM? I haven't asked for that much off you, let's be honest. You asked me to lend you $5,000 last month, and I told you then that would be the last I'm giving you.
What? He gave him money behind my back again? Ah, I knew he'd been up to something. He's been off with me recently.
Brandon, listen to me. Mom, stay out of this, please. You and your brother are going to turn into enemies if you both keep this up. Brandon, there's no need to give your brother any more money. Make sure you don't give him anything. Mom, are you serious? Why are you being like this? Yes, I'm serious, Jacob. I told you under no circumstances to ask Brandon and Grace for any more money. How many times do I need to tell you for you to understand that?
Ugh, my head hurts. I'm sick and tired of listening to this.
When are you ever going to pay him back if you just keep borrowing money? Even if you have plans to pay him back, Grace won't let you borrow any more money, and Brandon won't say no to her. So it's not as easy as you think getting him to give you any more money. Do you really think also now is a good time to ask your brother these kinds of things when you've drunk 3 glasses of vodka? Mom, it's okay. Calm down. There's no need to say those things. I've punished him enough.
Honey, what's wrong? Is your neck hurting again? You've been doing the same thing since this morning.
Don't touch me there, please. I said I'm fine. Mom, don't say those things, please. I'm trying to stick up for you!
Yes, Francine, but some of the things you're saying are a bit far. I don't know why you're bringing me into this when all I'm doing is standing here quietly.
You're lucky you've only got me to deal with. Imagine if you had a sister-in-law. You know nothing. You've come from a high-class, stuck-up family. Just please ignore him and his behavior. You don't know anything.
Francine, I'm just saying.
If you don't have the same last name as us, then please don't act like you can get involved in our family affairs.
Sorry, Francine, but you also don't have the same last name as them. After listening to what my friends had to say about the situation, they think behind problems between siblings, there's always a part to blame on the parents. You're half responsible for this situation.
How is it my fault Jacob's company failed? Do you really think that this is my fault? My fault that he's here begging you to borrow money?
If you raise a child to always get what he wants, he will always be like that regardless of his age. If you always give in to him, he will always expect that. A child that always gets love will always just want love. If you raise a child like that, then he's going to think you're being unfair by not letting him get his own way. You've just created a divide between Brandon and Jacob because you raised Jacob wrong.
Of course. Here you go, acting like you know it all. But guess what? I don't really understand what you're talking about, nor am I willing to try and understand, since I'm so ignorant. Jacob, what are you doing? Come on, get up. We're going. Don't even try stay here any longer. Mom, please, one moment. I want to talk to Brandon a second. No, let's go. I'll get you the money somehow, even if I have to sell all of your clothes. There's no point being here any longer. They're tight and you look like a beggar. Mom, don't be so ridiculous. Plus, I need my clothes. Are you not listening to me? We need to go ASAP. You must be drunk with the amount of alcohol you've had today. Yeah, I am pretty drunk, I must admit. Can't you see yourself? Look at Brandon. He doesn't drink alcohol at all because he's thinking of his health. How can one son be so smart and mature, and one be so stupid? Drinking that amount of alcohol on an empty stomach. You're raising children yourself. You should know better than that. You need to treat your body better. Grace, could you get me one more glass, please? Just one more.
Jacob, we don't have any more vodka left. You finished off the bottle.
You're just as bad, Grace, for letting him have some. Who in their right mind brings out different flavors of alcohol and asks what one he wants to try, knowing what he's like? You've not helped the situation.
Honey, come on.
Please just stop it.
How can I stop it? It's driving me insane.
I'll let my mom know the truth soon. Don't worry. I'll let her know you haven't been trying to influence me behind her back.
So what if I am influencing your behavior or not? Your mom doesn't need to know that anyway. But the fact your mom thinks it's just me behind all this and I'm the reason why you won't lend your brother money is unfair. She's certain it's because of me when it isn't.
Even if you think it's unfair, just please ignore it for now. You know it's not your fault, and Jacob is the one to blame for putting us all in this situation.
Yes, and of course I've thought of you and your situation before saying my piece too.
I know you have. Thank you for that.
Well, of course, it's only the right thing to do. But honestly, until when are you going to have to carry your younger brother on your back? And if you aren't going to sort it out, then you'll have to cut him off, Brandon. And I know that would be the best outcome for you, too.
Okay, but please just stop talking about it. It's driving me insane, too.
I know it is. But do you realize how tough it is for me, too? I'm really struggling to deal with this every day. So please just think of me for once. Look at how hard it is for me and my circumstances.
I know, honey, and I know my mom is making you feel uncomfortable and nervous.
Are you sure you know? Because I think you don't know half of what's been going on. I know what you think I'm going through, and you're right to an extent. But I can't put up with it anymore. Even if you keep telling me to just deal with it, it's not as easy as that.
Okay, well, I don't know what you want me to suggest. We'll just have to live separately.
But that's also unfair that we have to live on separate floors. She must know what she's doing. She's smart with it, being able to infuriate people this much.
Honey, come on. Calm down.
I've bought her around 15 nice dresses this year alone, but she never bothers to wear them and would rather walk around in clothes we've decided to get rid of. She purposely makes holes in them and shows off. I don't get how she isn't embarrassed walking around looking like that.
When did she even take them?
And of course, everyone knows who my mother-in-law is, so people see her walking around like that and judge us. I even went to a work meeting the other day, and you know what people were saying to me? To buy my mother-in-law some dresses and to not be tight because they think she's wearing those kinds of things without choice. Your mom knows what she's doing, and if you really care about me, you need to get this sorted, Brandon.
Honey, I'm sorry, but I don't care about what other people think of us. I care more about my little brother's future than I do about what random people at your work have to say. So please just hold out a bit longer for me. It will get sorted, and I don't need to cut ties with him.
Yes, but you can't get a word in with your mom. She will just constantly spit words at you on purpose so that I can't express my opinion.
So has my mom started having dinner elsewhere?
Yes, but I had a call earlier demanding that I start making her lunch.
Why lunch?
She said because she doesn't want to eat alone anymore.
I'm sure it's more than that. She probably wants to see her granddaughter, too.
Yeah, but when is Alice ever in the house during the day? She goes to school. Plus, it's not fair on me that as soon as your mom calls, I have to rush home from the gym and make her lunch.
Yeah, I guess so. But I'm sure she doesn't know that.
Yes, but there's nothing we can do to help her, Brandon. She's too heartbroken that Jacob ended up like this. Not even God could come down and make her feel better. So please, can you let her know what she's doing to me? She needs to know. Even if it takes you all night explaining, it will feel good after. Like a weight off your shoulders.
Since I am my mom's son, I know very well what she can be like. I've grown up around her. And after listening to everything you've got to say about how she's been, I think she's trying to purposely ruin both of your relationship, rather than the fact she hates you and wants it out for you.
Yes, but either way, it's bad, don't you think? Think of me, the person who this is all aimed at.
I get that, honey, but would you like it if I told you how to deal with your family? Like how you're doing to me now? Even though you know it won't end well.
Can't you think of it differently? Think of how much I've had to go through in order to demand something like this off you. Plus, the environment and family I was raised in is very different from yours.
Yes, but it's hard to keep up with your family and how you were raised. Your family is so prim and proper, well-mannered and polite. Ours is different. But you need to also know that everyone's way of living and doing things is different to the next.
Yes, but there's still a limit to how much both of us can deal with. I've tried my best to understand that our families are different, but sometimes it pushes the line a bit.
So you're saying my family is that bad it pushes past the threshold of how much you are willing to accept?
Well, then what are we supposed to do? Why don't you get a loan and lend the money to Jacob then? He can pay us back over a 5-year basis until his company gets back on track and is doing well. And tell him we'll give him a little bit of pocket money each month to help him out.
Where are we gonna get the money to do that from?
Well, what else are we supposed to do? Plus, our business is doing well these days. I've been thinking maybe it's better for us to just take a financial loss in the short term, if it helps us to get them both off our backs. Your mom's even started smoking in our apartment. Did you know that?
What? Inside?
Well, she lights it outside and then she comes inside with it to smoke. On Thursday, she smoked 2 straight after eating dinner. The floor above and below both put in a complaint that they could smell smoke.
There's also another old man that smokes in his apartment on the 6th floor.
Okay, and what does that have to do with us?
I'm just saying the man on the 6th floor smokes on his balcony until the early hours of the morning. Think of the poor people that live on that floor.
Really? But again, that has nothing to do with us and our situation. The day after I saw one of our neighbors in the grocery store, She couldn't believe your mom could be so ignorant and do those kinds of things in a house where a child lives. When I asked her what she was on about, she brought up your mom smoking in the house.
Okay, I get it. She's being unbearable. But please just hold out a bit longer, Grace. All my brother needs to do is overcome his crisis he's going through, and it will all get better.
No, we can't just let it get better. We need to do something. You need to sort something out. It won't get better. I'm going crazy from trying to be hopeful.
Just trust me, it will get better. He's not going to live like this forever. He'll come to his senses.
Yes, but I won't. I need to be free for once. I don't want to live like this.
And you being like this isn't helping the situation. You're constantly complaining and demanding makes me not want to do anything.
Where are you going?
I need some water. My temperature is rising.
There's water right next to you, though.
I want to go outside and have a drink while thinking.
What are you looking for?
What do you think?
Let me guess. You're going to smoke too?
Yes, I'm stressed out.
Grace, come in. Oh, I didn't realize you'd be here, Emily.
It had been a while since I saw Francine, and she let me know you'd both be home soon, so I stayed a bit longer. And where's Brandon?
Ah, I see. I'm assuming you spoke to Francine beforehand. He'll be home soon. He should be just finishing work now.
Yes, I did. Oh, great, that's perfect. What about the little one? Megan? Where is she?
She's at piano class.
Why would you come here to see me without bringing my granddaughter? You know how much I've been wanting to see her. You do this on purpose. Francine, kids are pretty busy these days. Their schedules can become more packed than ours. Grace, we've ordered some Mexican food, and I know Brandon likes it too. So how about staying to eat with us? Our little one will be due home soon too, so that's around the time we've ordered food for.
Also, Francine, I've come here to tell you that the whole issue with the housekeeper has been sorted, and she will keep on working for us.
You really are useless. Why is a person like you, who's always free, needing a housekeeper? I'm still yet to know the reason behind all of this. You don't need one.
I just notice a difference in how I'm feeling when I have some help around the house and when I don't.
Anyone who hears this would be just as shocked as I am. So what's the reason then? Has she got something against you, so you had no choice but to let her stay?
Why would she have something against me?
I don't know. Maybe she caught you doing something you shouldn't have been.
No, that never happened. And why would I be doing something I shouldn't be?
Okay then, why do you bow down to her and let her get away with everything?
She gets along with the family and Brandon enjoys the food she makes for us.
So what if she's a good cook? You're able to cook too, aren't you?
Francine, it's hard to find a housekeeper who's not only good at cleaning, but is an amazing cook too.
And why would you say she's good at cleaning? She used a cloth once and put it straight in the laundry machine, and washes the mop in the kitchen sink. Not only that, she put both dishcloths and ones used in the floor in the laundry machine at the same time. Francine, I don't think it's any of your business what Grace decides to do. It's her life. Who cares if she's okay with the cleaner washing the mop in the sink? Why isn't it any of my business? She's married to my son. He owns that house, too. He works hard all day for money to be able to afford these kinds of things. He spends all day trying to please his boss, going to play golf together, doing things he doesn't like doing for that money. Other people also work hard for their money, like I once did too. In order to be good at something, you need to actually do things properly and be open to advice. I wouldn't call the work she does hard work. Washing things that aren't meant to be washed together, mopping up for a few minutes and then a quick vacuum after it. Is that what you call working hard? But Francine, it's not like the money to pay her is coming directly out of your pocket. So technically, it isn't any of your business what they decide to spend their money on.
Francine, don't be so ridiculous. You purposely come over to our house at the time you know she's due to start work, just to keep an eye on her. Not only does it make her uncomfortable, but it also makes me very uncomfortable. She's the best housekeeper we've had thus far. She's good at cooking, and I like her. Compared to before, she really makes me feel like I can finally start to enjoy life again.
Exactly, Francine. So I think it's just one of those situations where you have to understand it and try and move on from it. I don't know why you're trying to nitpick at her, bringing up washing mops and dishcloths. It just seems very childish.
So what do you think I've done this whole time? I've been as understanding as I could. Me just sitting back and watching is me trying to understand. If I wanted to, I'd fire her myself. But I'm not doing that, am I? Francine, how many housekeepers have ended up quitting because they couldn't bear to deal with you any longer? I don't know how many people have quit because of me, but I can tell you something. Tell me what? The fact you won't let the housekeeper enter your ensuite bathroom and won't let her use the toilet in the house is even worse. If I was the housekeeper, I'd think there was something wrong with me. That's because my underwear and dirty laundry is usually in my ensuite bathroom, so I don't let her go in there as I don't feel comfortable with her seeing it. Brandon isn't even allowed to go in there. In our house, we like to keep those things private. But because of that, most of the housekeepers end up thinking you're strange. It makes them feel dirty and pushes them to quit. I push people to leave? Really? But you sitting and watching what they're doing all day, and if they're doing their jobs properly, won't push them to leave? I feel like you're trying really hard to find something to blame me for. I'm so sorry you think your life is that hard. The one time I say something and it isn't good enough for your standards, you try and attack me. Plus, who do you think you are when you're the worst to come out of your family? Your father is a retired school principal, and your siblings are both doctors and lawyers. Yet all you've managed to become is a teacher. So do you really think you have the right to sit there and yell at me? After you were raised in such a good house with good manners.
Mom, sorry I'm late.
Ah, Brandon, we were waiting for you. I thought you'd come with Grace. Right, where is this food? I'm starving.
Mom, please. Why can't you just let me come home in peace for once without bombarding me?
Honey, what's up?
You too. Stop talking to me. Please, everyone, just stop talking.
Brandon, what's gotten into you today?
Mom, please, quit it with the 10 questions. I just want 5 minutes to breathe. Brandon, are you okay? You keep holding your shoulders. Are they hurting too?
How many times do I have to tell you? There would be no one in this country who would put up with having a mother-in-law like that.
I get that you're having a hard time, honey.
You do? Thanks for finally recognizing that.
But try to think about it this way. You're struggling and having a hard time. But my mom is also struggling too. Can't you see it from the other point of view?
I know that. I'm not the only one struggling, of course. But everyone has their different thresholds and ways of dealing with things.
We both knew from the start when you first joined our family that you and my mom weren't each other's type of person. But other than that, we've never had any problems. I'm doing well in my job and getting promotions.
Okay, and what has that got to do with anything?
I'm just saying, you need to try and understand the situation. She's loud and has her own way of dealing with things, and you weren't raised in an environment like that and find it hard dealing with it. My mom is used to having her own way and being in control, but because you're standing in the way and won't let her get away with it, it will be causing her stress too.
Do you really think that? That she can't really do what she wants when I'm around? How ridiculous.
I don't think this is a laughing matter. I'm being serious. From what I can see, my mom is finding it hard because of that, and she doesn't half yell as much as she normally would. So she's made an effort with that.
Have you just ignored everything I've ever told you about your mom?
Oh, and do you want me to tell you something else?
What?
Every time you react like this and say something is ridiculous or outrageous, it just pushes me further and further away from you.
You didn't have to tell me that for me to notice. I already knew you were distancing yourself from me.
So, you noticed?
Why wouldn't I have noticed? It's been a year since we were last intimate with each other. That's a long time. Have you seriously been counting? I haven't been counting, but of course it's something I've been paying attention to, yes. And even before that, we were only being intimate like once a month. You've not made an effort with me for around a year. Who wouldn't pick up on it? I'm not stupid. Yeah, well, maybe our relationship is just really starting to drain me. And that's why I don't want to be around you, because whenever I am, all you do is complain and yell. And you never take in anything I say anyway, so there's no point in me explaining how I feel. So, you know what? Let's just stop talking about this. We'll get nowhere with this, and I'm just wasting my time. What do you mean, wasting your time? Our relationship should mean more to you than that. And anyway, since you've brought it up, we may as well continue to talk about it. Anyway, recently... Stop. I want to take a rest, so please just stop talking. Oh, okay. So how about we just get a divorce? Don't be so silly. A divorce? It just doesn't seem right living together anymore. You don't want to be around your own wife. Not only that, the fact I'm even counting the last time you were intimate with me is embarrassing and a disrespect to myself. Yeah, about that. I've just been way too busy with work recently and it's gotten ahead of me. I'm sorry if it's come off that way. Don't say sorry if you don't mean it. You can't force yourself to do things you don't want to do. I'm also just sick of having to go to war with your mom every day over the littlest of things. It's just not the way I want to live anymore. Grace, come on. Don't let this little argument turn into something big. What about our daughter? Everyone who's gotten divorced says the process is the worst part about it. But after it's all done, life becomes way better. Don't go to extremes and start bringing up silly things like divorce. What have I done that's that bad? It's not like we haven't been intimate because I've been cheating on you. I've just been busy. We've got a child to bring up, and in order to do that, I have to go out and work. You know that deep down, too. So don't bring up divorce again. Where are you going? We haven't finished speaking? Going to get something to drink. There's a drink right next to you. Oh, just leave me alone, please. Don't go outside and smoke. It's too cold tonight. I'm not going to smoke. I just want a different drink to water. What's happened? It's not like he's cheating on you or anything. No, I know that. I believe that he isn't cheating on me. Then what do you mean you want a divorce? I just can't cope with Francine any longer. Oh, try not to worry too much about her. When her husband was around, she was still the same. She always wanted everything to be her way. She was born like that, I guess. But I understand that a person like you, who's so calm and organized, would find it hard to get along with her. I'm finding it more than just hard to get along with her at this point. I feel like she's constantly yelling whenever we try to converse. She never says anything positive and is always looking to create a fight. But, Grace... Yeah? What should I say to Francine if she asks me about this? I don't know. Just say you don't know about what I'm thinking. Just tell her the best advice for her would be to stop thinking her way is better than everybody else's. Grace, even if it's hard, just please try think about it a bit more before you do anything. Why should I? I'm at my final straw with it all. These kinds of things happen to every relationship. They all go through the same things. What things are you talking about? Oh, come on, Grace. I know you're only being like this because you two aren't being as intimate as you once were. Huh? Who told you that? I haven't mentioned that kind of thing to anybody. Of course I picked up on it. You don't need to tell me. When it's related to worrying about cheating on your confidence, all girls know what you're talking about. I've been through the same thing myself. I also know how much of a hard time you're going through because of your relationship with Aunt Francine. Emily, I think you've got it wrong. It's not like that. I don't know what made you come to that sort of conclusion. Of course, as a woman myself, I just knew. I thought you'd have known us women have those kinds of powers. You know, gut feelings. I'm telling you, the whole root of the problem is solving anything that's going on between you and Brandon. Once that's solved, everything else will be okay. You may not realize it, but that's also what's causing the issues between you and Francine. The fact that you aren't in a happy marriage with Brandon and there's issues going on affects your tolerance to having his mom living with you. All women are the same. Trust me. That's the only way it will resolve itself. There's no way of resolving anything if you just divorce your husband and just live like strangers.
But how? How did you find out? Did you talk to Brandon about this?
Are you crazy? With his kind of personality? I never talk to him about this kind of thing. I just notice the little things, like you both don't look at each other or laugh with each other as much as you used to. Not only that, when we all gather to have dinner, you always sit so far away from one another. I could just tell from that there was something going on between you guys. But Grace, honestly, that happens to a lot of married couples after having their first child. I promise you it gets better. You've just got to ride it out together. I'll order you a pizza to your house. Try and have a nice dinner with Brandon for once.
Emily, honestly, you don't have to do that. I promise you it isn't what it looks like.
Oh, come on, Grace. Stop trying to gaslight me. I know that's what's happening. We're both women here, so let's not do this and try open up a bit. I'm giving you advice here, so just trust me. Also, here, take this too.
Huh? What's this?
A gift voucher for the best hotel in town.
Oh, really? Wow. Is this actually for the Four Seasons?
Yeah, anyone would want to go spend a night or two there, wouldn't they? I actually got it as a birthday gift a few months ago, but I thought you could do with it more than me. So, go and enjoy it with Brandon. And don't fight.
You've given us this at the perfect time. He's off work next week because of the national holiday.
Exactly. That's why I gave it to you. Duh. Just ask your housekeeper to look after the house and your daughter, and you'll be all ready to go.
Yeah, I just have to hope Brandon will have some free time and will want to come with me.
I'll call him myself and ask him for you.
Why have you got the metal pot out on the balcony, blazing in the sun? What are you doing? Are you trying to cause a fire in the house? Move this right now! Ah!
Oh no. Francine? Call 911. Call 911 now. Megan, sweetheart, where's your cell phone? Call 911. Your grandmother needs to go to the hospital.
How is it my fault? That crazy housekeeper of yours kept those metal pots out on the balcony in the sun. She nearly caused the whole apartment block to go up in flames. Not only that, I accidentally stood on it and it's burnt the bottom of my foot.
Of course you caused all this. On the one day we planned to go to a nice hotel and spend some time together. She goes and burns her foot on a pot that she somehow didn't see, meaning we had to cancel the trip and come home after only being there for 30 minutes. Francine, I thought you said you didn't want Joanne to use dishcloths anymore to dry the dishes. Exactly. I had no other way to dry the pot other than to leave it out there in the sun. Because she keeps on going on about how I am not being clean.
Oh, so you thought you were being smart by doing that, did you?
Francine, that pot wouldn't have caused a fire. She was just trying to figure out a solution to the thing you've been complaining about.
Are you crazy? I saw the pot smoking myself. Of course, if the sun was on it for long enough, it could have sparked a flame. Anyone else would agree with me that it's crazy behavior and extremely irresponsible.
But other than you not looking where you were going and burning your foot, nothing happened, did it? So please, Francine, please just stop complaining. Nothing went wrong.
And don't you think me burning my foot is a big problem? Do you think if there wasn't something wrong, I'd make you come home like this?
Why do you always have something to say back? Do you ever give up? You would make anyone go crazy.
What did you just say?
Mom, stop yelling. And you too, Grace. Please, can we just talk normally? Why are we always yelling?
Ugh! Brandon, honey, what's wrong? Brandon? Honey, What's going on? Are you okay? Honey! I knew something was up! Grace, could you get the medicine? It's in my pocket. Francine, call the ambulance. We need the ambulance. I can't believe we've had to call 911 2 times in one day. What is going on in this household?
Brandon ended up having to go to the emergency room, and the doctor told me news that I did not want to hear. He said that there was a lot of stress and pressure on my husband's heart. Since Brandon started working for his company, his blood pressure was already high at around 130 and 50 beats per minute, and then to 150 a bit later on. Scarily, it had now risen to 180, and we had no idea about it. The scary thing about high blood pressure is you can't tell you have it, and often you seem like you're fine. Then suddenly, with too much stress, your body can't take it and this kind of situation happens. Brandon was hiding the fact he had a high blood pressure from all of us and was taking his medication secretly behind our backs. That also explains why he slowly started becoming distant from me. All the stress he received from the constant conflict going on at home with his family, to the stress he was dealing with at work and having to be the sole breadwinner. Constantly worrying about if he was doing the right thing and doing too much to ensure he was building his relationship with his boss. I think all of those things were slowly eating away at him and he couldn't deal with the stress any longer. The whole situation caused me and Francine a lot of guilt. It's some herbal tea my eldest brother sent me as a gift. He's a doctor, so explained to me all the health benefits. But not only that, it tastes great.
I'm not too sure. I'm not the biggest fan of tea. I much prefer a latte with sugar. Coffee is the best.
Then do you want me to make you some coffee instead?
It's okay, I'll try this tea now that you've made it for me. It'll only come out in my pee anyway. It can't do that much good.
It will help with that at least.
Yeah, I bet it does.
I promise it's amazing for your body. It's nothing bad.
Well, it doesn't taste as bad as I thought it would. It's actually quite refreshing.
Anyway, Francine.
What now?
I think we'll have to stop with the arguing and try and get along from now on. Don't you?
Yeah, I think so too. My poor son.
If we fight and push him over the edge again, he'll be back in hospital.
You're right. We've been really stupid and selfish. I feel really awful.
I wanted to ask what was the real reason you felt frustrated with me in the first place? Was it because you thought I was controlling Brandon's money and wouldn't let him help Jacob out? Were you upset about that?
No, it's not that. Plus, Brandon said he gave him the money in the end. So why would I be angry over that?
It was Brandon's idea to try and hold off and try to teach Jacob some self-reliance. He just wanted to help him out and make him into a person who stops relying on others and is able to do things independently on his own. Was that not what you wanted for Jacob too? Was for him to grow up and be able to do well for himself?
Of course, that's all I ever wanted too. It's my fault for cushioning him so much as a child. That's why he grew up the way he is.
That's all I wanted for him too. I wanted him to get some independence.
Of course, him being independent was always the goal. But I failed at that. I don't understand how Brandon did so well for himself and became so independent, even though I gave him nothing. After having Jacob so late and him seeing Brandon do so well, I just wanted Jacob to have the best in life too. What parent wouldn't do the same? I think I've just been sensitive this whole time because I feel so bad about the whole thing.
Well, I didn't know about that.
Grace, you're also a mom of two. So I'm sure you understand the situation and how hard it is to raise kids. Living knowing you raised one of your children the wrong way, it does lay heavy on your heart. I'm old and haven't got much time left, so I was stressing about Jacob and his whole situation. Blaming myself for even having him in the first place. Blaming myself for how he turned out. But when it comes to kids, you can't blame anyone but yourself. I'm sure you feel the same.
Francine, let's just go along with what Brandon wants to do. Since he's head of the family, after all. I think he will agree to give Jacob the money he needs, but he's not going to give it to him straight away. Instead, he's going to give you the money, and you can distribute it to him as living expenses.
Really? Are you really going to do that? Thank you so much. I think that will be a good idea.
It's not me. It's Brandon's money.
Yes, I know. But if you weren't to agree with him, he wouldn't have gone ahead with this plan. So thank you for cooperating.
With the shared goal of us trying to keep Brandon healthy, me and Francine decided to be civil with each other and to stop the petty fighting. Not only are we civil, she's now starting to wear some of the dresses I bought for her months ago. She's also started to make a conscious effort to lower her speaking volume at the dinner table and to stop yelling across to the family. As for me, I'm trying to make an effort to accept Francine as she is and to try and get along with her more, regardless of our differences. Our eldest daughter, Alice, who Francine loves the most, has started going to her grandma's house to do her homework, which has also improved mine and Brandon's relationship, as we now can spend more quality time together.
Who's there?
Who do you think? It's me, Grandma. Alice, of course.
What brings you here on a school night?
Of course, I came over to eat your delicious food. You promised you'd cook for me.
Don't you have piano tonight? I thought your mom said you did.
No, Mom said I don't have to go tonight.
What's that in your hand? Did you bring something with you?
Oh, Housekeeper Joanne told me to bring these over. It's a couple pieces of her fresh bread she made.
Fresh bread? Sounds delicious.
Grandma, you know I don't want anything with broccoli in, don't you?
Of course, of course. I'd never do that to you. Don't worry.
And did you restock up on the ice cream you promised me?
Of course I did. I wouldn't break a promise now, would I?
Perfect. I knew I could trust you.
Do you have any homework to do?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Okay then. You get started on your homework and I'll go make you some dinner. The lamb your brother gave us was amazing. I couldn't believe how good it tasted.
Yeah, me too. It was delicious. Anyway, how was golf today?
Today went really well. I even got a hole-in-one.
Oh, really? Wow, you're improving then.
Yep. Everyone was so shocked.
I bet they were. Oh, wait, what are you doing? What's gotten into you?
What do you think?
1 second. Why are you touching there? That tickles.
Why are you asking when you know?
Honey, be careful. You're getting water on my hair.
It's okay. I'll be careful.
Honey, please.
Be quiet. Don't ruin the mood. I thought this is what you've been wanting. Since today was such a special day, and I've gotten a hole-in-one, should we celebrate by making a third child?
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, click the notification bell, and subscribe to see more content. And why not leave us a comment in the comments section down below. See you in the next video.